Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our Ask the Guard Google Plus Hangout. The theme for today is prior service and deployment. If you have any questions you would like answered, feel free to submit them right here on Google Plus. We have Specialist Zach Foust and Sergeant John French from the Delaware National Guard here with us today. So if you guys want to take a moment and introduce yourself quickly, we'll begin.
Well, my name is Specialist Zachary Foust. I'm a member of 198th Alpha Company. I'm a 25 Sierra, and I'm from Felton, Delaware.
I'm Sergeant First Class John French, currently assigned to the RSP for the Delaware National Guard, but I'm also an MP in the 153rd MP Company here in Delaware.
All right, thank you both, and thank you for joining us today. And we already have several questions coming on right now. We're going to start with the first one from Marissa Mersa, who asks, what does it take to be in the National Guard, and how do you train to be in the National Guard?
The answer to that question would be you just have to want to make that commitment to serve your state, serve your country, and then fulfill that by making sure that you're physically fit, mentally fit to take on the challenge of going to boot camp, going to your AIT school, and then going to your unit and be successful in training and being a part of that team.
Any thoughts, Specialist Faust?
I agree, especially being a team. The quicker you learn to become a team member, the easier basic training goes. And as far as tech training goes, just giving it your all to learn your craft and to turn it into a great career.
Thank you very much. All right, now we have a question from Andrew Jerian, and he asked, what is the age limit?
The age limit would be the age of 34. The minimum age would be the age of 17 without parental consent.
All right. So now moving on to our next question. What do you like the most about being a National Guard soldier?
I've just been part of the team. I'm a prior active duty soldier in the Marine Corps from 1993 to 1997. I got out in 1997 and realized I missed wearing the uniform. I looked around at different things throughout the region. Then I was turned towards the National Guard, which was great because it's my home state. It's putting that uniform on, serving the state and the country. I've had a great run and great career up to this point.
What about you?
I would say I joined 3 years ago. I joined back in 2010. I would say the best part about being in the National Guard is the opportunity that it brings. It allows me to put on the uniform, but at the same time allows me to continue in the career path that I've chosen in the civilian world.
All right, now let's get into some of these questions for the specific theme. Starting with, what was your experience transitioning from active duty to the National Guard, and would you recommend it?
I had a great experience. As I said, I realized after coming off active duty that I missed putting on a uniform. I missed the camaraderie of being around people that have that same commitment. So I started looking around at different things, because I said I was active duty Marines. Looked at the Marine Reserve, looked at the Army Reserve. And then I ran into somebody that was in the same boat I was that had ended up in the National Guard. So I reached out to the recruiters of the National Guard, and I really liked what I came across. The opportunity to, as I said, serve the state and the country really made continuing on in my military career a pleasant experience.
Now with this, were you able to deploy both locally and abroad?
Yes, as an MP for Delaware, I've deployed 3 times, 3 combat tours. I also deployed to Germany for basically like a 3-week training period, which was a good experience because anytime you get to travel overseas and not have to pay for it is a good experience. I've recently been down to Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean because that's the Delaware State Partnership Program. That was a great experience. So the Guard offers so much things that I wouldn't be able to do on my own. It's been a great experience.
Nice. Now, for either of you, do you have any tips for getting ready for deployment?
I know for me, I just got back from a 9-month tour to Afghanistan. Prior to leaving, the biggest part about the separation for me was family. So I would say setting up the ability to communicate with them. I myself invested in an iPad, being able to communicate with back home and realize that you will be coming home to them when your time in Afghanistan or wherever you're deployed is over. That was a real big help for me.
Besides from the iPad, are you allowed to bring over other electronics or things that you can use on your downtime?
Yes, anything that's not detrimental to the mission, anything from a computer to a phone is very accessible and usable over there.
Great. All right, so what would your advice for someone thinking about joining the National Guard be?
I say go for it. If you have that feeling that you want it to be part of something bigger, be a part of your state, be a part of the armed forces, make that decision. Reach out to recruiters, get all the information you can. As I said, I've had a great experience. Going on for over 20 years, and I've done a lot of things that I wouldn't be able to do on my own. That the Guard has given me the opportunity to do. It's nothing but it's nothing but great things for me.
I would say the same. Joining the National Guard offers a great amount of opportunity, leniency, and options that can be brought into your career. Anything from taking a full-on active career in the National Guard to being able to go to college for free with tuition assistance and GI Bill. Great opportunities to be able to chase after whatever career path you want to pursue.
Are there any additional benefits that you get from the Guard, whether it's directly from the Guard or intangibles?
I mean, it's a great supplemental income. I mean, you're required, you come into one weekend a month, 2 weeks a year, unless you're selected for deployment. It's just money that you have coming in to supplement what you're doing, and it helps in this economy.
There's the life insurance that goes with it, the health insurance that goes with it. There's USAA, which is a fantastic partnership bank that offers fantastic benefits for anyone in the military. National Guard is always offering active duty positions that can get you by when your civilian position may fall out on you in this economy. So, like I said, opportunity is the best part about the National Guard.
All right, so back to you for a second with prior service. Why did you choose to transfer to the Army National Guard opposed to other services?
Just having the locality. I mean, when I started looking at like the Marine Corps Reserve here in Delaware, there's not a lot offered. I would have traveled, farther distances to be within my MOS. And when I started reaching out to the Guard, they have, so much in-state to offer as far as MOS, and I had an interest in law enforcement. So I was able to join the MPs, going to school got my degree in criminal justice, and I work in a law enforcement field here in Delaware. So it's kind of all matched. It all kind of just fell in line for me.
Great, thank you so much for that. We have another question from the audience, this one from Hassicorn Inthanil, and he asks, what are the educational requirements that it takes to be an officer?
Educational requirements require a 4-year degree from college. Otherwise, graduating from ROTC is another requirement that goes along with that. Otherwise, I believe that's it.
You can also enlist into the National Guard and then going through OCS program that states offer. Sometimes they have a requirement where you can have up to 60 credits, and you can join you can go to OCS with the commitment that when you graduate from OCS, you're given a time frame to finish your career, finish your degree, but still maintain that commission.
Thank you very much. So we're getting a couple of questions about being deployed locally. Do any of you have experience with that, and can you shed light on what that's like and helping out with your local Delaware?
Yeah, I can speak. 2 days after 9/11 happened, there was a concern about security here in the state. Being an MP, they called up, asked for people to come in, and we secured National Guard assets around the state to make sure that, because nobody knew what was going to come after. So I've done that for the state. We've deployed in support of numerous snowstorms. We've deployed in support of numerous hurricanes. We're always ready to answer the call. The MPs in the state are looked at as a response force. We support local agencies, the local law enforcement agencies, to accomplish the governor's mission.
And just so people are clear, who's the one who makes the final call if the National Guard is deployed locally?
It would come down from the governor through the Joint Force headquarters to decide what assets would be needed.
Cool. Thank you very much. And then, do you guys ever help out other states? So, for example, when Hurricane Superstorm Sandy hit, maybe they needed additional troops from New York, Delaware, Connecticut. Is that something Delaware might get involved with?
I was MP. I deployed to in support of operation during Hurricane Katrina down to the Gulf Coast, went to Gulfport, Mississippi, and assisted local law enforcement in that area, dealing with traffic control and making sure that people were safe. That was during the Hurricane Katrina.
Thank you. Now going back to more abroad deployment, especially as you were talking about staying in touch with your family. You know, what about the people you're with, your soldiers, your battle buddies? You know, what's the camaraderie with? Can you kind of talk us through that a little bit more?
Camaraderie is definitely built in a deployment situation when you know that it's just you and the guy beside you to get the mission done. Whether it's something as simple as driving out to get gas filled in your truck, or whether it's keeping an entire base from losing all communications. It's a mission. And knowing that the people beside you are the only people there to help, and you really grow great relationships with the people. You really feel like you're part of a team, and it was a great experience.
Are those the same people that you trained and knew with back home?
Yes, we had what was called a MOB, where we went to Texas for a month to train together for the mission, training on convoys, fire missions, and other forms of combat to ready ourselves for the mission ahead in Afghanistan.
Now, were you guys volunteers to deploy, or did you just get assigned to deploy?
My unit was assigned to deploy all 3 times, so we deployed as a unit.
I'm in the same situation. I was taken out of tech school straight into a deployment assigned, and don't regret a thing.
Not bad. All right, so getting back to prior service for a second, we have a couple of people asking about that. What is your advice for someone in another branch that is thinking about transferring? And I know you mentioned just go for it, but any specific advice?
Now, I do know, like, if you're coming off of like active duty Army, when you're out processing wherever you may be at, you're going to have the opportunity, if you have interest in the National Guard, to meet with people that can find out what jobs are available in your state, and then have a seamless transition to where if you get out, then you're going to have to reach out on your own to have these contacts made through the recruiters in your state.
All right, not bad. So this is more of a general question, but what is your favorite memory of being in the Guard so far?
I'd have to say just having the opportunity to deploy with my unit 3 different times, and building those relationships, maintaining those relationships today. There's nothing like you find out, you go through hardships together. You kind of have that bond that you have friends out there that you can call on any time, for help, for assistance, for whatever you need. It's been my experience.
I would go with just training together when opportunities where our unit gets to come together and train for missions, train for any given situation or scenario, whether it be local or abroad. There's always a good time. Like Sergeant French said, you do get to build those relationships that are close knit and strong for a long time.
Do you both keep in touch with any of these guys outside of the Guard?
Of course.
Yes.
Nice. So that's definitely one thing that is a little bit unique and different from the Guard opposed to other branches that you get to work and train with these guys on more of a daily basis. Can you sort of elaborate on that?
I can say through experience, like having deployed with my unit, you have people with all different experiences. We have carpenters, plumbers, corrections officers, police officers, electricians, and then when you're deployed and you're kind of fending for yourself, which we found ourselves on our last deployment for Afghanistan, those extra skills just made our deployment so much better, because every time something broke, we had the availability to get it fixed, just because so much knowledge brought to the table. They weren't just soldiers; they brought their craft, their outside skills, which they do every day in the civilian world, to the table, which accomplished the mission.
So some of these skills that you guys have learned in the Guard, have you been able to apply that to your civilian life or civilian job?
Yes, that with teamwork. I work as a probation parole officer for the state here in Delaware, which requires teamwork, just being able to deal with people, getting the communication skills and tactical skills that I use on the street when I'm doing operations on the street. It's been helpful.
Yeah, and even with the tech school that I received, AIT, I'm only a few core classes away from an associate's degree, and I haven't even begun my actual college education by using tuition assistance. But anything from at-home life with a computer per se, or working with phones to video chat like this, or Anything electronic has really been touched on in my 25 series, which is mostly electronics and communication. It's been a great help.
Nice. So what are your MOSs? And for those who aren't familiar with that, maybe can you explain what that is, how you got involved with that, why you ended up with that, and or chose it?
I'm a 25 Sierra. I'm a satellite communications technician. And I chose a job specifically for the great future that entails, that gives me the ability to choose many different job fields, many different career paths. And it's honestly been a really good choice. It's been difficult. It's a hard course, but it's very good in the long run.
95 Bravo, which is MP. As I said, when I was on active duty in the Marine Corps, I was in the what they call security forces, and then I was in the infantry as well. So when I came off active duty, as I said, I had an interest in pursuing a career in law enforcement. So it made sense for me to seek out the military police field, which was offered here in Delaware. So it's kind of twofold. I got experience I was a military police officer, and then used the education benefits, completed my degree in criminal justice, which I used to get the career I'm working on now with the state as a probation parole officer. So as I said, it's all kind of come together just by making that choice of going guard.
Awesome. All right. So looking back from the beginning, when you first got started, what made you decide to join the Guard, and what was that process like?
When I originally joined, the motivation to join was simply to continue a family legacy, and also to do what I wanted to do, which was serve my country. Both my parents have served in the military. My dad's retired 20 years in the Air Force, and my mother's currently serving at I think her 15th year in the National Guard now, also prior Air Force. And I'm working on my 4th year now in the National Guard, and enjoying it, enjoying being able to serve my country, going abroad and being able to do that as well. It's been a great experience, and now I'm working on going about using my GI Bill to be able to utilize free college.
For me, as I said, I was coming off active duty. I actually got off active duty, spent almost 2 years out of uniform, and the whole time I missed it. I just knew that I wanted to put that uniform back on and be a part of the team, but I really didn't want to do it full time. So, as I said, I looked at the reserves, I looked at different options, and then I was pointed in the direction of the National Guard, and it gave me that opportunity to put the uniform on, do a lot of things that I never thought I would do, but maintain a civilian career, being able to be with my family, being back home in Delaware. So. The choice was easy for me, and I benefited from it.
Great. So back to deployment quickly, because a couple of people asked, how often do you deploy?
Well, right now it's kind of tough to say because the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq are winding down. But before that, there was like a model in place for units. It was called the Arpager model. Pretty much you deployed, then you had a 5-year cycle to where you kind of not. Unless needed, you kind of have that 5-year break and then kind of be called back up. Your number could be called back up as a unit. And it happened like that we deployed to Iraq in 07, 08, and then in 2013 as a unit we deployed to Afghanistan. So that model kind of worked on that. And then prior to Iraq in 02, 03, our unit was called up to do a security mission in Saudi Arabia. So it worked out. It was about a 5-year break in between each of our deployments as a unit.
Great. All right, we have a question from Mike Cook, and he asks, how much is involved on a weekend drill, and what are the hours like?
I mean, it depends on what your job is like, what MOS you have. A normal drill weekend is you report for first formation on a Saturday morning. You get accountability. There's a training schedule in place. And you as along with your team, your senior leaders, your leadership, are going to execute that training schedule. There's classes. There may be you may be doing a movement to a tactical area to do field training. It all depends on your MOS. You usually do that for 2 days, and then on Sunday, Sunday evening, you're released to go back to wherever you come from to continue out your week until your next drill comes up.
How long is the commitment in the National Guard?
The original commitment, like I have, is a 6-year contract. After that, you can sign a 2-year contract or a 4-year contract, and then so on and so forth from there.
I've just recently, our last drill period, I signed a two-year extension on my contract, which will bring me up to almost 23 years of service.
All right. So how is the Army National Guard different from other military divisions?
You're representing, you have a state mission where you're here to assist the state as needed, and then as the bigger picture with the Army National Guard, you're out there to support the federal mission of the United States Army as needed. So you kind of have a dual responsibility. You're here in the state, but as times needed, as we've seen over the last, with Iraq and Afghanistan, the Guard played a major role in being able to be successful in those missions.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about basic training, since everyone always wants to know about it. So what was it like for you both?
For me, it was a lot. As I said, it's been a long time. I went to boot camp in 1993 to Parris Island, and for those of you that pay attention to the military, it's one of the tougher places to go to for basic training. I learned a lot. I actually, looking back as you go through it, and then when you complete it, you kind of look back and relish what you went through, and realize how much of a good time you actually had during all that struggle to reach that goal.
I attended basic training 3 years ago on the summer between my junior and senior year of high school. Went to Fort Jackson, and the experience was it was very maturing. It was a great team building experience with the people there. You really learned how to be a team quickly, or else it was going to be a painful time for those 3 months. Respect for authority, and honestly, you do look back and realize all the great training you received and how fun it really was in the end.
All right, so how did you physically prepare for basic?
Push-ups.
A lot of running.
Can you elaborate on that besides just the push-ups and running?
Keeping cardio up, anything from just running a mile a week, just learning that you're going to be physically put to the test there every day, at any point in the day.
Did you both come back in a lot better shape after all that?
Yes. I went to, as I said years ago, I went to boot camp. I was about 190 pounds. When I graduated boot camp, I was 175 pounds. I was a lean, mean fight machine, as they would say.
Probably walking around all big and buff, people noticing all the work that you guys have been doing.
Yes.
Probably it doesn't just help you out physically, but mentally as well. I would imagine it just probably gives you a lot more confidence.
Yeah, as I stated before, when you look back and what you were able to accomplish going through that experience, it makes what's in front of you kind of seem like, bring it on. I'm ready to accomplish and defeat any task that I'm faced with.
All right, so if someone is interested in either joining the Guard or transferring from another service, what are some of the next steps they should take? What are some of the resources they could look into? And any suggestions that you have?
I'll definitely reach out to your recruiting offices. They know what jobs are available. They know where the vacancies are in the states. They know up to the minute what bonus programs are offered, what it's going to take to get you trained and into a unit. That's what I did. And I was prior service. I had that almost 2-year break, and I walked in the recruiting office, and they were happy to see me walk in. And I would say within a very short time, I had signed a contract and was training with a unit.
Any thoughts on your end?
Yeah, your recruiting office honestly will know every bit of information you need to know. Recruiting offices are located everywhere throughout every state in America. It's very easy, and there will be someone there who can answer pretty much any question you have about any job field that you wish to pursue and any career that you want to start. And it was the same with me, that a contract was signed pretty quickly after meeting with my recruiter.
Great. Aside from the recruiters, do you think there's a lot of helpful information online at nationalguard.com or on social media at facebook.com/nationalguard or at National Guard on Twitter? Things like that for a lot of the younger kids who may be more involved in before they actually get in touch with a recruiter.
Of course, because with social networking, younger kids can actually see what other young adults are going through in the Army National Guard. They get to see and get questions answered from people that are around their age and right around the area where they want to start, around 17, 18 years old, and they can see immediately what's going to take and what they're going to have to do in order to get to the goals that they want being in the Army National Guard.
Yeah, I would say reach out to those people that on social media. Find out what experiences that they're having. See if you can maybe get experience to go to a unit and see what the units are like. Get all the information you can so you can make an educated decision. Make sure that it's right for you. Because as I said, it's a commitment. You're making that commitment, and when you make it, we want you to follow through with it. Because we need people in the units that are going to succeed and train and build this force. Because people like myself eventually will be moving on, and I need somebody there that's going to take my place.
Absolutely, and we've been told from just a lot of our younger, I guess, audience who have questions that they love going to social media. They know they're going to talk with either other potential prospects who are interested in the Guard or current soldiers who are there, and they can actually get their answers or their questions answered in real time. So for anyone out there who is interested in finding out more information, definitely go on social media. You'll get a lot of help there. So we have another question from the audience. Can someone join with just a GED?
No.
I don't believe so at this time. I think you have to have the high school diploma to be able to sign that contract.
All right. So now, this might be a little bit more personal, but what are your favorite experiences so far about being in the Guard? Feel free to elaborate or tell any stories that you have.
I mean, I've done a lot of, I've seen a lot of neat things. As I said, I was able to I was sent to Germany to accomplish, to do an MP mission. When you travel, you get to experience the culture. So I got to experience the culture of Germany, to hang out with my friends in a foreign country. As I said, I've recently been to the Caribbean, to Trinidad and Tobago, experienced that culture. I've experienced the culture of Saudi Arabia, experienced the culture of Iraq, I experienced the culture of Afghanistan. Just things that that made me grow, and I always have those experiences, the rest of my life.
Yeah, my career is still young, only 3 years in, but I would definitely say my trip to Afghanistan was definitely a great way to experience the culture of what was going on there and really understand what is going on half a world away. That would definitely be one of my top moments.
That's pretty amazing, and it really sounds like you have a lot of these great experiences from joining the Guard. You really get to travel the world, meet new people, learn different cultures, something that you might not have had the opportunity without the Guard. All right, so with that, we have a lot of different questions, prior service deployment, and some general questions from the audience. So we're wrapping it up now, and I just wanted to give it to you guys for just one last minute, a quick thought, any advice, recommendations that you can give our audience who's listening on right now before they head out for the day.
If you're thinking about the National Guard, reach out to the recruiters, reach out on social media, get all the information you can to make that education decision. And once you make that decision, commit to that decision and go for it. There's so much to be offered by the National Guard. If you put the work in, you'll definitely get the work out.
Yeah, joining the National Guard will make you physically, mentally, and just overall stronger. It's a great decision, and if you're thinking about it, definitely contact people that are already in the service or your recruiting office and figure out if it's right for you, and if it is, go for it.
All right, well, I would like to thank both of you for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here. You definitely helped a lot of these kids out and answered so many different types of questions. For you guys listening in, this video will be on YouTube after as well. We're also going to cut this up into smaller videos to help answer specific questions that you might have. And as always, follow us on Twitter @NationalGuard and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/National Guard. With that, I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.